Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. Let me begin with a simple truth. Wealth is not something you pursue. Wealth is something you attract by the person you become. And that's what I want to talk to you about, the principles, the money rules, the disciplines that helped me move from working as a stock clerk for pennies to building a fortune and influencing people across the world. Now here's the good news. You don't have to be 20 to start. You can be 30, 40, even 70. These are timeless truths. They're not about where you came from, they're about where you choose to go. Let's dive into the 7 money rules that made me wealthy, and you can start them at any age. Let me tell you how everything changed for me. I was 25, broke, and blaming the government. Then someone told me, Jim, the problem isn't the government, the problem is you. That day, I started a new journey, personal development. And that's when my fortune began to change. You see, if you work hard on your job, you can make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, develop your mind, your character, your discipline, you can make a fortune. That shift changed my income, my relationships, and my entire future. Personal development is the foundation of wealth. Why? Because money doesn't just flow to effort, it flows to value. And you are the source of that value. The more valuable you become, the more money you attract. Not pursue, attract. So don't just upgrade your skills, upgrade your philosophy. Don't just clock in hours, invest in books, mentors, and new habits. Because the greatest asset you can offer the marketplace is you. Now let me give you a principle that'll save you heartache, spend less than you earn. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But it's amazing how many people violate this little rule. I used to make $57 a week and I was broke. Why? Because I spent $60. Wealth begins not with income, but with discipline. It doesn't matter how much you make, if you spend it all, you'll always be one step behind. The trap isn't low income, it's bad habits with money. But let me balance the equation. Don't just live below your means, live above your potential. Push yourself. Invest in growth. Don't shrink your dreams to fit your budget, grow your wisdom to expand your means. That's the secret. A little frugality combined with a big vision now. That's a combination that creates wealth and dignity. Not just survival, but significance. Now, here's a question. Why do most people save money for security? That's fine, but let me offer you a better reason. Save for opportunity. Opportunity is the doorway to wealth. And if you're always broke, you're never ready to walk through it. When I started putting a little aside, $10 here, $20 there, something changed. Not just in my bank account, but in my confidence. I started seeing myself differently, not as a consumer, but as an investor. That's powerful. Wealthy people don't just save to feel safe. They save so they can act when the moment comes. A new partnership, a business idea, a property deal. These are doors that open for the prepared, not the lucky. So start small, but be consistent. Even if it's just a few dollars a week, get into the habit of setting aside money with intention. Let your future self be thankful you planted those seeds early. One of the most important money rules I ever learned is this. Never depend on a single source of income. If your whole life depends on one paycheck, you're always one decision, not even yours, away from disaster. I started with a job, then I added a little part-time effort in sales, then came speaking, then writing. Each stream started small, but eventually they turned into rivers. That's how you build real financial independence. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity to create a second income. Just start with what you have where you are. Could be a skill, a hobby, a network. But develop something on the side, not for survival, but for options. Remember, it's not the size of the stream that matters at first, it's the habit. Small streams, consistently built, can become mighty rivers over time. And with each new stream, your freedom increases. Here's a paradox. The more you give, the more you receive. That's not philosophy, that's life's law of the harvest. If you want more out of life, you've got to plant more seeds. And generosity is one of the most powerful seeds of all. When I had nothing, I thought I had nothing to give. But even then, I could give my time, my attention, a few dollars. And when I started giving, something opened up. My world expanded. Money is a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. Use it to bless others. Use it to create opportunities. Don't hoard it, flow it. When money flows through you with purpose, more tends to come back. Now don't misunderstand. Be wise, not reckless, but be strategically generous. A tip here, a donation there, an investment in someone's dream. The world responds to those who live with open hands and big hearts. One of the greatest tools I ever discovered, a journal. Not just to write dreams and ideas, but to track my financial progress. Because if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Start writing down what you earn, what you spend, what you save. Be honest, be detailed, review it, reflect on it. Why? Because awareness is the first step toward transformation. I used to write every month. This month I earned X, I saved Y, I gave Z, and I'd ask myself, is this the person I want to become? Some months I was proud, others I had to adjust. But the journal became my mirror and my mentor. We often forget what we spend, what we waste, what we earn, but the numbers don't lie, and they'll teach you more than a dozen financial seminars. Start tracking, and you'll start transforming. Let me give you one of the greatest shortcuts to wealth change who you're listening to. When I was broke, I listened to broke people. When I wanted to grow, I sought out those who had what I wanted, wisdom, wealth, vision. The people around you will either raise your standards or lower them. They'll either stretch your thinking or shrink it. That's why it's so important to associate with people who challenge you, not comfort you in mediocrity. When I started listening to big thinkers, my language changed. My habits changed. My vision changed. You catch wealth like you catch a cold, by proximity. Get close to people who inspire you to rise higher. Now, you might say, Jim, I don't know anyone like that. Then start with books, videos, events, mentors you haven't met yet. Proximity doesn't always mean physical. It means intentional exposure to better thinking. Let me tell you something most people don't realize. Time and money are not that different. In fact, if you can't manage your time, you'll never master your money. Why? Because time is your seed capital. It's what you invest to build wealth or waste to stay broke. In my early days, I was always busy, but I was going nowhere. Then I learned the difference between activity and productivity. Just because you're moving doesn't mean you're making progress. It's not how busy you are, it's what you're busy with. Every wealthy person I've met treats their calendar like a bank account. They don't spend time, they invest it. They plan it, guard it, and use it wisely. That's why I started scheduling my priorities instead of prioritizing my schedule. Big difference. So if you want to grow financially, start watching your time like you watch your money. Guard it, budget it, audit it. And most importantly, make time every day for what builds your value, reading, writing, connecting, selling, and learning. Because every hour you waste is an opportunity you'll never get back. Now here's a rule that's easy to overlook, but incredibly powerful. You must learn the language of money. Just like a new country has its own vocabulary, so does wealth. And if you don't speak the language, you'll always be a stranger to prosperity. When I first started, I didn't know what assets were. I didn't understand equity or compound interest or cash flow. But once I began learning not in school but in life, I started to feel at home in the world of money. And money started feeling more at home with me. Let me tell you, money is shy, it only stays where it's respected. And to respect it, you must understand it. So learn the terms, read the books, ask questions. Talk to people who've been where you want to go. Get financially literate. Because when you speak the language of money fluently, you stop guessing and you start making intelligent decisions. That's when money begins to multiply, not just trickle in. And that, my friend, is a game changer. Let me finish with this, maybe the most important money rule of all. If you want to become wealthy, don't just chase income, build a philosophy. A money philosophy that guides you through every season, good or bad, up or down. You see, wealth that's only based on tactics will disappear when the storm comes. But wealth built on principles like discipline, generosity, long-term thinking, and personal growth, that kind of wealth endures because it's built on wisdom, not hype. So ask yourself, what are the money beliefs I live by? What do I think about value, time, work, investing, giving? Most people never ask those questions. But the wealthy, they live by a set of financial principles as clear as a compass. And here's the key. A strong philosophy will produce strong results. Not just in your wallet, but in your heart. Because real wealth isn't just about what you accumulate, it's about who you become in the process. So now you've got the full picture, 10 money rules that transformed my life. Not tricks, not gimmicks, just timeless truths. You can start these rules in your 20s, 50s, or even 70s. It's never too late to become a person of value, vision, and wealth. The key is to start. Don't let another week pass being passive. Write these down. Pick one rule, practice it, master it. and then move to the next. Because success is not a mystery, it's a formula, and you've got it now. As I always say, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. Your future is waiting not for more luck, but for more discipline, more wisdom, and more action. Thank you, my friend. Now go and live like wealth is within reach, because it is.